Hey everybody, welcome back to an episode of The Elite, the Elite Count. I'm War Machine MJ. The reason why there's no championships is because I'm stupidly late on recording these, so, yeah, Full Gear has come and gone. Don't know the outcome of it. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the last episode of Dynamite before Full Gear. And don't worry, it's going to be spoiler free for those of you who have not watched Full Gear. Let's go ahead and start off. We start off Dynamite with tag team act. Well, not tag team, one-on-one. Sorry, as the Bastard Pac took on Trent Beretta with, of course, his best friend Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy. Oh well. Yeah, this was a pretty good match. Towards the finish, however, when Pac goes for the, well, hang on. During the match, Orange Cassidy tried to get involved, and he hit Pac with those vicious ankle biter kicks known as Sweet Chin Music, but he got a boot for his troubles. Of course, majority of this match was also Pac and Trent throwing each other into barricades, mostly Pac. Anywho, finish came when... Yeah, the finish came when Pac went for the Black Arrow. Got a 2 count because of a ref botch. And ref botch, basically, they wanted him to fill time before commercial. So Pac kicks in, locks in the Brutalizer, and yeah, and Trent passes out. Afterwards, Pac said he's going to make an example out of Adam Page at Full Gear once again. So yeah, next was Cody's really big announcement that he was going to make a couple weeks ago. Yeah, he launched into one of his, well, I was about to say one of the best promos of the year, no doubt. I was also about to say one of his best promos of the year, but I still like the promo he cut on Dustin before their match at All Out, or Double or Nothing. My bad. But yeah, he was spitting off, he was rattling off fire and brimstone in this speech. He talked about the great criticisms that management / wrestlers get. You know, wrestlers who are also in management. You know, like Cowboy Bill Watts and, of course, the late Dusty Rhodes. He also responded to Jericho calling him a stupid millennial. Basically saying, you know, this generation doesn't need you anymore, Jericho. You need this generation. That's why you've surrounded yourself with impressionable youth. He also called out that him and Jericho had the same silver spoon upbringing, and he also calls Jericho uh, he called him a entitled dick, I think it was, but he called him a dick. I think he said stupid dick. I did think it was a bit funny that he calls him a dick. Anyway, he basically said the closing portion of his promo is it's more about impressing his family, and, you know, showing that the last 14 years of his life, you know, he's gone from undesirable to undeniable. and it was fantastic. Just fire and brimstone, and it's a shame that WWE wasted all of this. Next up, we had a tag team match to determine the third place in the triple threat at Full Gear for the tag team titles. If I can get my brains together. Basically, it was the Dark Order versus Private Party for third place. Whoever won that match got to go to Full Gear to face off for the tag titles. Sorry. They had SCU on English commentary, while they had the Lucha Brothers on Spanish commentary, which I thought was an interesting touch. However, in the end, Private Party got the win with Gin and Juice on Stu Grayson. So yeah, fantastic match. We then cut to a video package from Chris Jericho, which was just funny as all hell. It was basically a mockumentary of Cody's promo from a couple weeks ago, where he basically said, you know, I've got 1,001 business meetings, while all Jericho has to do is train and get ready for Full Gear. It was hilarious because he had little subtitles for all of his inner circle members. Sammy Guevara was Spanish God. Santana was Street Thug. Ortiz was Ruffian, and I forget what they put for Hager. Ortiz kept saying dead ass over and over again. Hager just pretty much just stood there, just they had Virgil on there. He had this great line about Jericho's talent being like the Olive Garden breadsticks, unlimited. And then had some old lady on there saying that basically she knew Jericho's on, or whatever, the story was there, but basically said Jericho's gonna beat the out of Cody. It was just awesome. It was a fantastic promo, and just a 1A, 1B to Cody's Fire and Brimstone speech from earlier in the night. Next was women's tag team action, as Jamie Hayter and Emi Sakura took on Shanna and Riho. This was a very fun and just awesomely great match. AEW definitely has a stacked women's roster of relatively unknown talent. However, in the end, Emi Sakura got the victory over Riho with a roll-up. Yeah, just fantastic match. Afterwards, there was a vignette from Brandy Rhodes, which this one was weird. Like, the past couple have been just straight up weird. So, yeah. Not much to make of this, except for Brandy Rhodes and Austin Kong are some sort of tandem. Next up, we had a match. Residential, might as well call him jobber. Brandon Cutler took on the chairman, Shawn Spears. No surprise, Shawn Spears, of course, got the win with a Death Valley driver. Afterwards, Spears, put the boots to Brandon Cutler as it was, until Joey Janela chases him off. Yeah, they're gonna clash over at Full Gear. Mostly because the story there was Joey Janela had disrespected Tully Blanchard, and Shawn Spears responded in kind by trying to rip out the bad boy's tongue with a pair of pliers. Afterwards, there was a really good vignette between Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley leading up to their lights out match at Full Gear. Then we come up to the main event where it is whereas Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara of the Inner Circle versus Hangman Page and Kenny Omega. This was a fantastic match. All four of these guys are just straight up amazing. However, in the end, Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara got the win with some assistance from the Boston Puck, who kicked the Hangman right in his business, right in his cowboy-ish. Afterwards, it just devolved into one wild brawl to close out the show with of course all of the Inner Circle, MJF, Cody, the Bucks, Hangman, Kenny, Pac, and Moxley. We even got a really awesome a really awesome splash from the top of the set from one Nick Jackson. Disgustingly athletic. That's how we closed out eventually I'm going to find another phrase besides Dynamite, but yeah, that's how we close out another dynamic episode of Dynamite, heading into Full Gear. So yeah, that being said, you know what time it is. Plug time. If you miss Rod's opinions but not his ugly face, he has a podcast, Prime Talk with Rodimus Prime. Go check it out. Of course, like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Come on, we could use more eyes on our product. That being said, I'm War Machine MJ, and I will see you guys next time.